Brian Daigle. If you don't know
Good
him by now,
afternoon, lads.
get to know.
Good afternoon, brothers.
Is
And,
that his
good
intro?
afternoon, everyone in the chat. How are we doing?
We're all good, mate. How are you?
Mate, absolutely. As you can see, I'm in my nephew and niece's playroom at the moment, sitting on one of those like old school seats. So this is breaking journalism on living for the moment. Listen, I'm very, very, very happy with this signing. Really, really happy with this signing. Delighted.
He was one you earmarked from before the window opened as one, realistic target we can get, who's available to, come straight into the team and contribute. What in terms of like, the price, in terms of the position, like how do you think it solves a problem that we have?
Sim, I think it does. I think you remember last week when we were together on Thursday, when we were having this conversation about the players, we were saying the squad just isn't good enough. And you look at the players that are there in that position that haven't really lived up to what they're going to be. I know Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, they're all so young. And as we were saying, we need to bring in quality to help develop these youngsters and not rely on them to be overplayed to get us out of trouble. They need quality around them. And Conor Gallagher certainly does that. I mean, I didn't really, people remember my bet I had with Ryan Isaacs under Range. I really didn't think he was the right player for what we needed and whatever. And maybe, as I said, I think it might have been the Chelsea connection. But when you take that out, this guy immediately walks into our midfield. Yeah. Immediately, even when they're all fit, Bentancur, whatever it may be, this guy walks in. And do you know what? It's the right price. We don't know about his wages, if it has been the higher wages. But another great thing is this deal, it's another deal, just like Johnson, that went through absolutely smoothly, no hiccups, no messing about, target wanted. Was it, like we said with Mawani, reaction to Bentancur? I heard you guys talking about it either on the update or the Here We Go. It very well could be, but even if it was, it is a quality replacement with Premiership experience, leadership, not another youth hit and hope on loan to see what he can do.
Good age as well, yeah.
Mate, unbelievably. And do you know what? Michael Bridge said it yesterday. You look back at Pete Poch, there were 6 England internationals represented by Tottenham. Now it's Jed Spence. It's literally Jed Spence. So to get an English player in, homegrown, it ticks so many of the boxes. Yes, we need wingers. Yes, we need a forward. But we've needed to upgrade rather than hit and hope with potential for signing after signing. If we're to say, like I've said on the channel before, Yves Bissouma was the last senior centre midfielder we signed. That wasn't youth or hit and hope. This is a guy that will come in and set the ground running, and I can't wait to see him start when I'm with you in the studio on Saturday, Sim.
Yeah, Brian, we've spoken many times over the past week or two or more than that about the need to bring in a midfielder that's a very good passer in the middle of the park. Is this the guy, or do we still need to be looking for that player?
If we're looking for, I mean, you've just got to look at Conor Gallagher's stats for when he was at Chelsea in the top 5 of pretty much everything that a box-to-box midfielder does. I think what we've needed, and if you look at it now, I'm very, very excited to see a Paulinho, Gallagher, Simmons, because they all, obviously, Paulinho is the steal and the defensive cover and that no-nonsense tackling. You've got Gallagher, who will do what he does, box to box, and then you've got Simmons. And if you remember, when we signed Wilson Palacios, a player that I adored and thought was incredible, and the reason we got Champions League football, because we signed that defensive midfielder, what did Harry Redknapp say to him? Win the ball, give it to Luca. Win the ball, give it to Luca. So hopefully Paulinho will have his job to do and he can do it. Gallagher will offer that energy that we have been lacking so badly. And then Xavi Simmons.
Bit of a difference between Gallagher and Luka Modric, though.
Oh no, you know what I mean. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're the same player in quality. That's not what I'm saying. But players have a key attribute that they're brilliant at.
Yeah.
Wilson wasn't great with the ball at his feet, and people say that about Paulinho.
Yeah.
Paulinho, give the ball to Gallagher, let him do the hard graft and then give it to Xavi for the guile. This midfield has a bit of everything, doesn't it? Now it has the engine, the stamina, the strength and cover for defence in Paulinho, and obviously the flair and creativity of Simmons. So I'm very excited to see what this three can do for the rest of the season.
And also for you, Brian, for Frank himself, how important is this signing for him to try and get things to turn around here? How do you think he'll fit into Frank's style of play?
I think it's going to assist Frank a lot. As I said to you, Simeon, again, when we were back and I had that I can't defend him as ferociously as I was. Then you asked the question, was I Frank in or out? And I said, I'm neither. It doesn't matter what manager's there, but I just can't defend him.
This is not what the thumbnail says.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the first time I've been clickbaited.
You said more out than in. You said more out than in.
It's not the first time that people in the comments haven't watched the video and leave the comments that they do. But that's by the by and the price you pay. But I do think this is a player that certainly can assist Frank, certainly can come in and do something and hopefully start getting better performances from the team as a whole. Because I do think he walks in immediately as our best midfielder, and will offer a hell of a lot more. And like Ben was saying, I think, was it yesterday or today on the update, he's got his England place to fight for. What kind of incentive do you need to get into the World Cup squad? Is there any bigger incentive in world football for any player to try and force their way into their nation's World Cup squad?
Brian, it's been quite the 6 months for you. You know, calling for Levy out for so long. Levy's gone out. Calling for Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank's come in. Calling for Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher's come in.
Look where we sit.
Mate, if only Thomas Frank could do what I thought he could do. If only Thomas Frank could do what I thought he was going to do, then I could go, do you know what? I'm happy with everything I'm saying. But obviously it swings and roundabouts. And like I said, I honestly thought Thomas Frank was the man to do it. The performances haven't matched that at the moment. And like I said, I won't be defending him as ferociously as I was. Ben, you and me were there Saturday. I thought the second half we were brilliant.
Yeah.
Just couldn't capitalise on it. Let's see if we can put 45 minutes like that together.
Would you say, Brian, in your mind, is this a club signing, do you think?
Well, do you know what? This is someone we've wanted for a long time and always been rumoured. I don't know if you saw the thing from the Spurs Express, or I think it was them that said we had up to 8 conversations with them last season, and then a certain person that's not there anymore didn't. But you look at it, and again, you and Simeon, you and Ben have covered this, Simeon, brilliantly as always. When you said whatever manager walks in, a Conor Gallagher is always going to be needed. So I think it's very, very future-proof in that whatever system you want to play, you need a Conor Gallagher. So could you say this is a club signing? Yeah, you could on that note. But I think this time, when we say a club signing, we've seen Jed Spence obviously as a club signing, and look at that's worked out now, but obviously wasn't greeted by the manager at the time. But I think Conor Gallagher fits any midfield kind of formation you want to play, and is a massive plus to any midfield. So I think it's brilliant. And if it's a club signing to poke the bear that is Chelsea, bravo, because you've sunk their battleship.
Yeah, it's not very often we can sit here and say we've pissed off a few Chelsea fans.
Yeah, mate, there's one in particular that was going absolutely. I saw, yeah. And he went absolutely nuts, which has been glorious. And to tell you the truth, guys, last couple of days I haven't even looked at social media, or I've done the odd tweet or whatever, but then I didn't even know the deal was done Monday night. I looked at my phone first thing Tuesday and saw that's happened. And the thing is, they move swiftly, and it just goes to show with Aston Villa there, again, whether it was reactionary or not to Bentancur, they knew that time was against them. They knew that this signing had to get done quick, and they have done so quickly.
Yeah. Do you think, I'm just looking now, Connor's mentioned his chats with Frank, and I think there's a video of them meeting.
The Frank pool is unmatched.
Do you think Connor has signed with the assurances that Frank is going to be here for the foreseeable, or do you think he's under no illusion that he's signing for a manager who is under pressure?
Listen, the one thing that Conor Gallagher will know, and any player coming to Spurs, is we are predictably unpredictable. I keep referring to, if anyone's watched the movie Snatch, Bullet Tooth Tony says you should never underestimate the predictability of stupidity. Well, that's Tottenham Hotspur. So you've seen it before, like when Van Persie signed for United, he signed thinking Ferguson was obviously. There's people that do it. Look at even Brendan Johnson going to Crystal Palace. I think maybe it was a London thing. Maybe he knows his value that he brings to any team. So we'll wait and see. But if anyone is coming for Thomas Frank at the moment, unless the club have literally said, right, no matter what, and they haven't announced it, I wouldn't rely on anything.
Yeah. We've been speaking here about, our current crop of midfielders and, the growing list. We've got a lot of midfielders when everyone's fit. Bentancur, Bissouma's out the door in 6 months, so maybe we don't count him. But Pape, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, João Palhinha, whether we sign him or not. There's going to have to be some fall guys here in terms of, in the summer, potentially look to sell. Who do you think those guys could be?
Head of the queue for me is Rodrigo Bentancur.
Yeah.
Head of the queue. We've discussed this many a time, Ben, and Sim, whether it be on the streams, watch-alongs, or privately. When Bentancur is good, he's great. But if he's not good, he's nothing, unfortunately. Whether it be this formation, whatever it may be, and having just signed a contract, we'll get a bit of money for him. So I think it's twofold. I think Archie Gray stays. I think Pape Matar could be in danger. I really do. Like again, I'll refer back to what Sim and I was talking about last Thursday. This club have got to be ruthless. There's no sentiment. These players have had, apart from Bergvall, who's relatively new, they've had time to stamp their authority on this team.
He is only 23, though. I also said Saar, but he is only 23.
Yeah, he is. But, Ben, when you can look at it, how old's Gallagher again? 25, 26?
25, I think, yeah.
So you look at that and what he brings and what he has done. We've got to come as a club. Listen, I'm all for the youth. And you boys know, especially me and Alfie Devine, that guy. So I would love to see these players come through. But there's times where you've got to say, do you know what? You've had your time. You've been through, obviously, various managers, he can't be helped. But there's got to be a time where that Tottenham say, do you know, big clubs, Big Six or other big clubs that have aspirations to be mounting title challenges or regularly getting into the Champions League and the further parts of the competition, if they have a player for a few years and it's not working out, they don't go, well, he's only 23, he's 24, we'll wait another couple of years. They go, right, you've had X, Y, Z. We need to find someone that can come in and do it. And if we keep just buying these youngsters and saying, let's wait a couple of years, well, those couple of years when the youngsters, the next crop are going to be coming through. But if we keep doing that, and I mean that for all over the field, not just what we're talking about midfield now, we've bought a lot of potential, and a lot of that potential have had time, and they haven't lived up to. And you say that Ben being only 23, that will be a plus for when it comes to selling them. The youth on the age on their side. So depends what way Spurs win it. But like I said, the sentimentality to players and hoping that these youngsters feel their destiny or whatever it may be, we've got to stop that. If we want to get back to being where we were under Poch, we need to be ruthless and say, right, these players aren't working out. We need the next level and get players in that will come. And Conor Gallagher is certainly one of them.
And 40 million euros, 34 million pounds. Given what price players are going for these days, pretty much spent the money we've made on Brendan Johnson, on Conor Gallagher. You pretty comfortable with that price?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it in the way Spurs have done things. We've spent more on Odegaard and Tell than Man City did on Semenyo. So you look at the wasted money that we have actually spent trying to solve issues, like we keep mentioning with Kyle Walker, and to go and get a player with that experience, England international, leadership, and all the other attributes he does, and bringing another English person into the squad for homegrown, it's an absolute bargain. It's a steal, isn't it?
And he joins the long list of unbelievable number 22s that we've had at this football club.
Mate, as I messaged you, 22 is a very special number for me. It's my birthday. It's the date I got married. So 22, let's hope Conor Gallagher can make that 22 shirt stand out and be a very, very recognisable figure. Figure for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, you think he's starting on the weekend?
Oh, he's going, without a doubt. I mean, if not by default, or they bring him on off the bench, but I can't see him not starting. I cannot not see him not start. How many? No.
Yeah, particularly Brian, as he's not in the Champions League squad, and we got Dortmund next week, so
exactly.
It makes
There's
even
another
more
great
sense.
point.
Yeah, it makes even more sense to start him.
Yeah, so then he starts because the lack of midfield. We need to protect the ones that can. So I think he comes in. I think he has a great home debut, and I think now, hopefully, obviously, Change for Spurs have got their incredible thing they're doing. I saw your bit with Billy T. Wonderful. Well, hopefully, there can be a statement that these are the kind of players that need to be the norm and quality of signings, not the one-offs.
Yeah, what do you think this signing does for the protest? Because whenever Spurs fans or Change for Tottenham or whoever it may, or you guys, whenever there's a big protest plan, Spurs always seem to get something in just before the protest actually begins to try and deter it. So do you think this makes a difference to the protest?
No, I think it's just, that's a coincidence. I mean, I remember when I was at the training ground and then the Levy Out ones outside the club shop. Then the trust, obviously, when we started getting a bit of clout or a bit, whatever word you want to call it, a bit of people speaking about it, the trust came out with those 4 questions that they wanted to ask. When we did the ones outside the training ground, when there's no signings on the last day, obviously, Kulusevski and Bentancur. I think they're all coincidences. But these coincidences keep happening. And do you know what? They've done this, but this is... If they would done this for years as the norm, there wouldn't be outrage. They have, over the years, there's been previous to players like this coming in, and then obviously, there you go, we've done that. Now be quiet, and then a year later we're in the same place. So I think there might be fans that may say, "Oh, wait a minute, I was going to attend now. Maybe I don't because of this signing." And that's people's prerogatives, but that's what happened on deadline day when we were meant to have a load at the training ground and Kulusevski and Bentancur came, and then look how that went on further down the line with Conte. So I don't think it will affect it. I hope it doesn't affect it because they need to know, yes, you did good here, but that doesn't excuse everything else.
Absolutely. All right, Brian, great to hear from you. A very happy Brian Daigle on the back of Conor Gallagher signing for Tottenham Hotspur. And we'll see you on the weekend, my friend.
You will see me on the weekend. I hope everyone, wherever they are in the world, have a wonderful evening. And Sim, I'll see you for West Ham, brother. I look forward to it.
Go.
And Ben,
Looking
I'll see you whenever.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, mate.
See you later on, everyone.